Hey y'all, Gavin here. I just won my locals the other day with Dracotail. I also took this deck to the regional about a couple weeks ago and didn't get too lucky, but I wanted to show off the deck because it's been doing really well. So let's hop right into it. We have 3 Dracotail Malulu. This is my favorite one. Usually this card has like the most skill expression because when you play against most people, you'll have like a lot of ways to fuse, but using your ways to fuse in the proper order will actually just give you game in most circumstances. And this usually has the highest impact because when it's sent to graveyard, it can non-target negate. So I actually go to like an all canine locals. Everyone in my locals plays canine. And this card just, it just shits on canine. Next, we have Lucius. Lucius allows the best lines with Secretarion, so this one's really good in the mirror. Triple Flymina, this is the best card in the deck. Like, being able to use this card as skillfully as possible usually gives you the most wins. Then we have 2 Pan, 2 Urgula. If you're expecting more mirrors, 3 Urgula is probably the wave, so you can also just play 3-1. I wouldn't usually recommend playing 3 Pan. Pan and Graveyard's usually like the best option against a lot of decks like Canine. However, 3 Urgula just gives you like the most follow-up and just gives you like the best lines. And then 1 Frixel. Frixel is the best one to use alongside Secretarion. It just gives you the most advantage. It's also the best one to bin off Branded Fusion. So yeah, that is all the Dracotail monsters. And we have the 1 Fallen of Albaz because we are playing the Albaz package. Next, we have all of the hand traps. So we got 3 Molcharmy Fubulos, triple Ash Blossom, triple Nib, double Veiler, and double Bell. I know a lot of people aren't really liking Veiler right now, but I wanted a diversity of hand traps. I've also seen people play Super Poly in this deck, but I wanted to make sure I had the... I wanted to play hand traps solely for the fact that they're good to fuse with. So even if you're in a matchup where these cards are like bad, so like there's a lot of Enacraft at my locals, so cards like Bell, Nib, and Charmy aren't the best. Same with Veiler. However, I can fuse with them. So my matchup into Enacraft is actually pretty good. But yeah, I didn't really regret any of these choices. Of course, since I'm at a Canine locals, Ghost Bell is not the best, but this card's usually good into the mirror. So yeah, that's all the hand traps. And let's go on to the spells. We have triple K2, triple Rahu. You just want to max them out. Sometimes you see yourself like siding out of like a Rahu, but that's usually like when you're going second. I will say the cards I side out the most are the Branded package. Double Branded Fusion, double Fallen. These cards got sided out a lot this weekend. Usually just Branded Fusion. Fallen and Virtuous is usually good to keep in going second. However, I don't see myself keeping in Branded Fusion the most going second. Because even though Branded Fusion can break a board, depending on the matchups, especially in the Canine, I find myself wanting like more hand trap diversity. However, this card is really good going second. Like, there's a reason why this card in this version of the deck performs the best. Because this lets you get into the secret boss monsters, which we can talk about later. So yeah, I still wouldn't change this. I don't know if I would take these out. There is another version I'm testing with the Perform About card. The one that lets you poly. And I think that's also very cool. But Branded Fusion just has the most bang for its buck. Like, this is probably the most bannable card I can think of. Like, it just lets you do so much stupid shenanigans. And the Fallen into Virtuous is one of the most broken cards I can think of. Sending for cost to get rid of something is just fantastic. Very good in the yummy. And we're playing all 3 of the traps. These 3 all have their moments to shine, especially against the Canine decks, where Horn, Flame are usually your sets, but Sting also being able to hit Lupus is very good. A lot of people say this deck has a very hard Canine matchup, but I seem to disagree. Next, let's go on to the extra deck. We play triple Arthalion and 1 Gulamel. You don't really have a reason to play the second Gulamel. Second Gulamel doesn't really come up in the ways that a lot of people think they do. The 1 just seems like enough. You do go through all your Arthalions a lot, though. Like, I do get into like grind matchups where like I'm just like putting them back with the traps. Like, I'll go into like 4 Arthalions, especially in the mirror. The secret boss monsters. People do not respect Mysterion the way they should. This card eats a lot of matchups right now. Same thing with Chaos. You can usually tell who's good with this deck depending on how they use their secondary fusions. Like the Dracotail fusions like come up like all the time, but when you see these cards come up is when you can usually see who's like actually played the matchups and who's actually very skillful with the deck. Chaos being able to get random pops, especially when you're making it with cards like a Malulu and Pan, allows you to just get multiple pops. And this card's fantastic, especially into the trap matchups. Mysterion's also very good, being able to stop summonings of the same type. So when you're playing against Canine, this is usually the card to summon out because it stops Jokel. This card is also very, very good against the Malice matchup and the Yummy. Philia Regis is also the other just like hidden boss monster. This card basically just shits all over Yummy. Secretarion is very good into the mirror. I'm actually thinking of bumping this up to 2 because this card comes up so much. So those are the utility fusions. Next, for the branded package, we have 1 Albion, 1 Lubellion, 1 Titaniclad, 1 Mirror Jade, and 1 Albion. In terms of what gets summoned the most, I actually summon out this the most because this lets you do the best turn 1 combo and plays around the most. Baits out a lot of hand traps. That's usually your goal, is that if you're playing against a hand trap deck, you just force them to throw everything down on this as possible. And you can pop it with your Pan to get the sets with this. Very, very good. Titaniclad gets summoned a lot more than you think it would. Especially Lubellion as well. Being able to send Malulu is crazy. Being able to send Pan or Nib off of Titaniclad is also really good. These two actually get summoned the least, but Albion lets you play around a lot of cards, especially the Charmies, and Mirror Jade as well. This can probably easily come out, though. And that's the entire extra deck. Oh, I'm lying to you, except for Spirit and Spheres. I'm probably cutting these and making 1 an SP and 1 the Secretarion Dragon. These just don't come up enough. I know a lot of people like to do the Spheres line, but I feel like you win most of the time without these anyway. Like the lines where you can do these are just better lines. And next we have the side deck. First for the side deck, I'm going to show you 9 blowout cards. Triple Perulia, triple Meows, triple Droll and Lockbird. I believe I posted a deck profile not too long ago. Maybe I didn't post it, but instead of these being Drolls, I had these being Retaliating Seas. I don't think Retaliating Sea is actually the best anymore because it has a lot of really high skill play arounds, and a lot of people are used to the card now, and I don't think the card is in the best position. Of course, it's still good, but Droll and Lockbird being able to cover a lot of the other matchups. Like, these are all just crazy blowouts. And I don't think you really need that many cards for the mirror because your main deck can already take it down. Perulia is really good into... Well, actually, both of these are really good into, like, all the big combo decks right now. So, I'm not too pressed about it. Honestly, I see a lot of people maining Droll. I don't know if I agree with that. I can see myself maining Perulia, though. This card has been crazy every time I've used it. Next are the going first sides. So it's the double Cartasia and the Pot of Prosperity. Again, I can see myself maining the Cartasia. When this deck first dropped, I didn't believe in the power of this card, but the more and more I've been playing around with this card, this is probably one of the craziest cards this deck could ever have, and it's not even a Dracotail card. And Prosperity is because you have a lot of cards in your extra deck you just don't touch in half your matchups. So usually when you put this in, you activate Prosperity, you get rid of like 3 of the cards you're not going to go into. Usually the Spheres, the Spirit, or like a Mirror Jade or one of the other branded cards. And just gets you to dig into more consistency. This deck doesn't have the biggest consistency issues, but there's a lot of times that you want to like bridge. And seeing another name can just, you know, win you the game. Very good for going first, of course. And then triple Imperm. This is for all the Canine decks. Canine is very popular everywhere I've been going. And this also being another hand trap into the other big combo decks like Mitsuyami has been very good. I know a lot of people don't like to side descend, but like just, again, having as many hand traps as possible is sometimes very good in that matchup. I don't always side it in, but in testing when I have, it hasn't been too awful. And yeah, that will be the deck profile. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have been streaming more on Twitch too, so I will be posting my Twitch in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm hoping to give you guys more content soon. If you guys have any questions or comments on the deck profile, please let me know in the comment section down below, and I'd love to hear more from you guys. All right, peace out.